So I thought I'd film a little weekly update, especially during my first trimester of being pregnant, because my family still doesn't know that I'm pregnant. So when they ask me questions about it, I want to be able to remember what I was going through. And I feel like this will be good to look back on in the future. My grandma's actually calling me right now. It's been so hard to keep this a secret from them. I'm currently 5 weeks and 6 days pregnant. And it's been, I've known for like since week 4 or 3 days in, or 3 weeks and 6 days. So it's only been 2 weeks, but it feels like it's been so long. And I talk to my family like almost every single day. So I have been dropping little hints that hopefully they'll catch on to. Once I tell them, they'll be like, that makes sense. But they also might not, because I'm trying to keep it as discreet as possible. So I'll say things like, I can't wait for fall. Can nobody else like wait for fall? That's double negative, I think. But essentially I'm saying, I can't wait for fall. Can you guys not wait for fall too? And I'm really saying that, first off, I'm a fall girl at heart. So that doesn't seem too like suspicious to them, I'm sure, because I always can't wait for fall. But I'm saying that in my head, being like, I can't wait for fall, our baby's coming. Can you guys not wait for fall? But they don't know the baby's coming, so it's not making sense to them. And I talked to my mom the other day about eating healthier. And I was like, yeah, I think I've just given up on losing weight, because I'm not gonna lose weight now that I'm pregnant, which is fantastic. I don't want to. But I was like, I'm just gonna eat healthier, and like, I've given up on losing weight. It'll be fine. Like, I'm good with the weight I'm at. And I was just laughing in my head when I was telling her that. Anyway, enough of rambling. My pregnancy symptoms for this last week were, my chest was really sore. And I feel a little bit nauseous in the mornings, but it does go away and it's not like super overwhelming. I was also super anxious my first week of pregnancy, like that I knew of. I was just really stressed out that something could go wrong, and I feel like that anxiety has gone away. Not completely, but definitely more. And I also just like kind of gave it up, because I'm like, the Lord has a plan for my baby and I can't do anything about it. Like, all I can do is eat healthy and take my vitamins and hope for the best. So that's what I've been doing, and that's definitely calmed me down a lot more once I thought about it that way. But that's all that's really been going on with me. And I'm interested in seeing if 6 weeks will bring any new symptoms, just because a lot of people say that your symptoms start at 6 weeks. So I guess I'll find out this next week. But I'm really excited because we're gonna tell Mark's parents. They're coming down this weekend, so we'll let them know that we are pregnant. And then we also have a ultrasound scheduled for, I think, the 13th of March, which is just in like 2-ish weeks, a little over 2 weeks. And that's where we'll get to see the baby for the first time. I'll be like 7 weeks, almost 8 weeks, I think. I'm not 100% sure. But I scheduled an early ultrasound because Mark is getting deployed, so I just wanted him to be able to see the baby before he left. So we're gonna do that. And then we're also gonna do a blood test to find out the gender, which I'm really excited about. So by the time I'm able to tell my family, I'll know the gender of our baby, and I think I'll also surprise them with that. But I'm really excited to tell my parents. It's been so hard, and my grandma, and just all of my family, and Mark's family. It's been so hard to like keep it a secret. I feel like for Mark's family, it's been easier because I just don't, like, I text them more than I call them. So it's not hard to like keep it under wraps through text. But when I call, like, I FaceTime my mom almost every single day. So that makes it really difficult, especially because my grandma and my mom have been like, so what are your plans for this summer? Like, what days are you gonna be here, and when are you gonna be gone, and what's your schedule like, and when are you gonna come see us next? And I just have to keep being like, I don't know. And because I kind of don't right now. Like, I don't know when my first appointment is for my first trimester, like doctor's appointment. And so I can't schedule a trip to go home quite yet, but I can't tell them that's why I can't schedule a trip to go home. So they probably think I'm being so difficult, and I'm not trying to be. I promise when you guys watch this, you'll understand what was going on in my brain. But yeah, it's been really hard, but I'm really excited to tell everyone. I'm excited for more people to know and just share the excitement with everyone. Take a shot every time I say excited. But it's been a good couple of weeks so far, and I'm really happy. I'm so grateful to be pregnant, and I'm really lucky. I stopped saying excited this time. I'm really lucky that this is happening, and I can't wait to tell everyone. I'll catch up with you next week and let you know how I'm feeling. All right, I'm now on week 7, so it's time for my week 6 recap. I did end up having my appointment. It went pretty well. Well, not pretty well, it went well. There was really nothing to it. They just asked my medical history and Mark's medical history. And I was concerned that I wasn't gonna have the appointment because the power was going out pretty much everywhere in Clarksville. But the hospital's power, I'm sure they would have had generators, but their power stayed on. So I had my appointment and it went well. And then we told Mark's parents, which was fun. And I think that's the big events that happened during week 6. But I will now tell you what my symptoms were. What I recorded at least. So I put that I wasn't sleeping well, which is still a thing. My morning sickness comes like strongly in the middle of the night. And so I, not every single night wake up, but a lot of nights I've been waking up probably around like 3 a.m. And I just wake up from feeling so sick. And I just lay there until it goes away. So some nights that last longer than others, or not even until it goes away, but just until it's like mellow enough that I can sleep through it, which I feel really lucky that that's the extent of it. I do feel like pretty nauseous well, not pretty nauseous. I feel a little nauseous randomly throughout the day, but I'm grateful I'm not like throwing up or anything. So that's been what my morning sickness has been like. And then I've also had a couple bloody noses, but that very well could be because of the weather. I did see online it could happen when you're pregnant too, just because you have more blood running through your veins, I guess, your body in general. But I wrote that down. I always got bloody noses as a kid. I don't really get them as much as an adult, but I've gotten 2 recently, so I just recorded it just in case. Not recorded, like video recorded, just like wrote it down on my phone. And then, food has been a bit of a problem for me because I will like crave something so strongly one day, and then the next day it sounds so disgusting, like I don't even want to think about eating that food. For example, I made like these chicken meatballs one day and they were really good, and I meal prepped them because I pretty much meal prep my meals just so they're ready through the week and I don't have to cook every day. But by the next day after I ate them, I like couldn't even stand the thought of eating those meatballs or like looking at them or smelling them. Even just talking about them is kind of disgusting to me right now. But that's been pretty consistent with all foods. Like one day I'll really crave it and the next day it's just so gross. The only consistent food craving I've had is hot chicken, like hot chicken strips from either Hattie B's or JP's Chicken, which is a place in Clarksville. But I don't care which place it would be from. I just always want hot chicken, and Mark's bringing me home some today, I hope. So I'm very excited about that. But yeah, food's been kind of a problem. And I'm also like not that hungry. Some days I can eat a lot, and then other days I just don't really want to eat anything. And today's the don't really want to eat anything day until I get my chicken, then I'll probably chow down. And my last thing that I said about this last week is that I've noticed I've been really emotional, which I'm not really a super emotional person. Like, I am, but I can control them pretty well. But the other day, Mark was like bumping my stomach and I just wasn't feeling that well. And he wasn't doing it like hard or anything. It was just like he was wrapping his arm around me to like cuddle, and it was bumping my stomach, and it was just like, it was not feeling good on my upset stomach. So I asked him to stop doing that, and he did it like 2 more times probably, and not hard or anything. And I started crying because I was just so upset that he touched my stomach after I asked him not to, and he definitely didn't do it on purpose, and like a cry was not warranted, but I couldn't help it. I was just like so upset that he was touching my stomach, and he felt so bad. I felt bad afterwards. I was like, I'm sorry I did that. I don't know where that came from. And then the other day I was in the kitchen and I almost started crying. Like, I really had to hold it back because Mark's parents were here. But if Mark's parents weren't here, I probably would have been crying in my kitchen. But I was just thinking about how great of a husband he was, and it was making me emotional. And then the next day I was in the kitchen again, and I just started thinking about how much I love my mom, and I almost started crying again. So emotions have been high for me, but I think those are my big updates for the last week and how I'm feeling in my mood. So I'm interested in seeing if they continue on in week 7. So far they are, but I'll keep you updated next week. We have a doctor's appointment on Monday, and we're gonna have well, it's not really a doctor's appointment. We're going to a local clinic, ultrasound clinic. So Mark can see the baby before he leaves. So I'm really excited about that appointment. And we're also gonna find out the gender. So I will update you, maybe not on the gender, but on how that appointment goes next week. Okay, so I'm 9 weeks today. I didn't film an update last week, so this update will be for 8 weeks and 7 weeks. Just because Mark was getting ready to leave, so I wanted to hang out with him. And then I was feeling really sick a couple of days, so I just didn't get around to doing the updates. But I did write down how I was feeling. So for week 7, I felt the same as I did during week 8, where I was like kind of not wanting to eat a lot of foods, like only specific foods sounded good to me, and that was all I wanted to eat. I was a little bit less nauseous, and I was more hungry, which before I was hungry some days, but then like not hungry other days, but I was pretty consistently like hungry during week 7. And then I was still craving hot chicken, and I was still very emotional. I did cry. I feel like it's funny to look back on what you cried about during that time. And so I wrote down like what I cried about, and I cried about the fact that I went to Starbucks, Mark took me to Starbucks, and I wanted an iced caramel macchiato, and they gave me a hot caramel macchiato, and then I also wanted a brownie, and they were out of brownies. And when we got home, I couldn't handle it. I was upset that I couldn't get what I wanted, so I did cry, which is hilarious to look back on now. It's not a big issue, but it was at the time. And then we also found out the gender during 7 weeks, which was so exciting. By the time you see this, I think I'll already have the gender video out. So it is a boy. I'm so excited. Mark was so excited. I was gonna be happy either way. I was really excited for a girl, and I was also just expecting a boy. So I felt prepared for whatever. And I was excited to see it was a boy. And then we also had our ultrasound, so we got to see the baby, and I'm sure I'll have something up about that by now anyway, but let me pull up a picture just in case. So this is him. My screen is so dirty, sorry. This little like oval looking thing is him. And then this little dot is the yolk sac. So he's so precious, just how small he is. And then here he is in like 3D form. I love it. I look at these pictures all the time. And we got to hear his heartbeat, which was so exciting. I was questioning on like what heartbeat was happening, like playing when the ultrasound tech was playing his heartbeat, because like I know I'm pregnant and my pregnancy tests are positive. I'm literally looking at him on the ultrasound, but it's still like not processing in my brain that that's like inside of me and that is happening inside of me. So I was like, whose heartbeat is that? Is that mine or the baby's? And she's like, it's the baby's. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so exciting. So that was super cool and I loved that. And then for week 8, I was way more nauseous for a couple of days, which was odd. I'm like pretty consistently nauseous, but for like 2 days, I was like down nauseous. Like I truly felt like I could throw up at any moment. And I felt almost like I had the flu, but I didn't have the flu. And at least I don't think I did. And I had a really bad headache for like 16 hours. But it just happened for like 2 days and then it went away. So I don't know what happened there, but that was a lot. And I like could hardly eat. I mean, I ate, but I couldn't like stomach a lot of things, I guess. Like I had classic food that you eat when you're sick, like saltines and chicken noodle soup and stuff like that. And then I definitely needed a lot more sleep, and I feel like I need a lot more sleep right now. I have been taking like 1 to 2 naps every day and I'm just so tired. And then I'm no longer craving hot chicken as much. Well, I will gladly eat it. It's not like constantly on my brain or like I'm so hungry today, the only thing I can eat is hot chicken. Like I don't feel that way anymore. So that's nice. And I can eat, or this is like can and could because I just came out of week 8. But I can eat a lot more foods, which is so nice because I like to meal prep my foods, and especially now that Mark's gone, I like to cook all of my foods for the week like ahead of time so I don't have to dirty dishes every single day. And for like the last few weeks I couldn't do that because I didn't know what even sounded good to eat. But now I can meal prep and just heat up foods and eat whatever I have. So that's been really nice. And I'm not as emotional anymore. I could hold it together when I said goodbye to Mark, and I feel like I've been holding it together. I feel like when I get in situations that make me anxious, I do feel a little bit more anxiety than I normally would, but that's not like a constant feeling I have. So that's been really nice. And that's all I have. So that is our update for week 7 and 8. I'm now 9 weeks. I'm really excited. Okay, we're officially in double-digit weeks, which I'm so excited about. And we're a quarter of the way through this pregnancy. So I am 10 weeks today, and I have been feeling really tired, like really tired. I'm already like kind of a sleepy person anyway. It's definitely gotten better over the last few years, but I've been exhausted like all the time lately, and I find myself needing like a 10-minute nap like every couple of hours. That doesn't necessarily mean I take the 10-minute nap every couple of hours, but I really, really want one. So I feel like that's been the biggest like shift for me this last week was the fatigue. And then let's see, what else did I write down? Oh, I wrote down that one day meat didn't sound good, which I meant more so like beef, I guess. I don't really like chicken anyway, but love hot chicken, as we know. I did have some of that this week. I said last week that it wasn't really a craving anymore, but I did then have some this week because I really wanted it. So it came back. My hot chicken craving came back. But like red meat wasn't really sounding that good to me this week, but I think that was just like almost just a single day thing because I don't know, I'm not like craving red meat or anything, but I'm not really craving anything in particular per se. But anyway, I babble on in these updates, but anyway, one day I said meat didn't sound good to me. I also feel like I'm getting a small like baby bump, but it's not the baby. It's definitely just like my insides are expanding. So I think it's just like growing. So I feel a tiny bit bigger, not to the point where my pants are uncomfortable or anything, but definitely growing down there a little bit. And let's see. Oh, I had acid reflux really bad. Is it reflux or reflex? I don't know. I had an acid problem, I guess, not the drug. But I almost think it was because I had chili. So I had chili the other night with cornbread, and I just had like acid sitting in my throat after that, and it was so gross. And I know that that is like a symptom that people have, but I almost think it was just that brand of chili, so I'm not certain that that's my symptom. And what else? Oh, this week I had to go get my blood drawn. So I had 10 vials of blood drawn, and I've never had my blood drawn before besides for finding out the gender of our baby, which maybe I did have my blood drawn and I just don't know. But to my recollection, I've never had my blood drawn, and it was kind of uncomfortable, but it wasn't awful. I think it was just kind of gross to like see that come out of your body. So I looked away so I wouldn't pass out. And then, yeah, so I got that test done. I got my results back, and so they send you your results, but they don't tell you what they mean. So I was Googling like crazy and like kind of freaking out, I'm not gonna lie, because I didn't know what all of them meant, and I wanted to make sure everything was okay. But the one that I was concerned about, I sent over to my doctor and I was like, hey, is this a normal level? And they said it was. So I think all is good with that. And I'm talking really fast because I'm trying to make this video go fast because I always ramble on for so long, but I see that it's already at 3 minutes and 50 seconds, so I'm not doing a good job. But anyway, sorry, I thought I saw something outside. Anyway, I'm really excited for this week. I have my 10-week and 5-day appointment, so I'm so excited. I'm gonna see the baby again, and I pray that everything goes well. I feel like not pregnant really, so like I know that I am, but my symptoms are just so mellow that I feel not pregnant. So it's always nice to see our baby, and I can't wait to see it, and then I can't wait to tell my family. It's been so long without telling them, and I'm just so excited to be able to get it off my chest at this time next week. My mom will definitely know. And I don't know about everyone else, but my mom will know, and that'll be such a relief for me. So I'm really excited for that. And yeah, I think that's all I have for my updates this week. I'll see you next week. Oh, I also forgot to mention, I mentioned the gender reveal last week, and I feel like I didn't emphasize how good of a job Mark did. I cannot speak. I feel like I didn't emphasize how good of a job Mark did at setting that up for me, and I was editing the video this last week, and it was just so sweet seeing all the effort he put into it, and I just loved it so much. So I wanted to mention that, and I think it should be posted either before this or right around this time, so you can go watch it and see what he did. But he's just the sweetest boy ever, and I love him so much. Or man, whatever. And I wanted to mention that. Okay, I'm currently 10 weeks and 6 days. My background's a mess because I'm getting ready to go to Idaho, but I thought I'd do my symptom update. We got to see the baby today, and Mark FaceTimed in, so he was able to see the baby. and everything looked good, so that was exciting. And as far as symptoms go, I really don't have any updates because I haven't really been feeling that awful or different than I was feeling last week. Definitely still a little nauseous, and I don't know, I feel like that's kind of it. I've been still really tired, but just those two things, which I feel so lucky to not be throwing up all the time. I think I've said that like 6 times in this video, but I really feel lucky that I'm not one of those ladies that's like stuck over the toilet seat the whole first trimester. So that is all my update for 10 weeks and 6 days. I guess that was my 10-week update. Yeah. On to week 11. Okay, I'm a little behind on my updates because I'm currently filming my updates for weeks 11, 12, and 13, I think. But I am currently 15 weeks, maybe 14 weeks, maybe 16 weeks. I want to say 15 weeks though, and then tomorrow I'll be 16 weeks. But I'm not 100% sure. I'm a little behind. Either way, my symptoms for those 3 weeks were all consistent, and it's still pretty much how I feel right now. So I'm just gonna update you on everything. But my biggest symptom is acid reflux, which is not pleasant, but I know I could have it worse, so I try to like take it with a grain of salt. But it's just like not pleasant to have a meal and then be sitting there and just feel like you have like stomach acid sitting in your throat all the time. But I go through that every day, mostly in the evenings, and sometimes I'll wake up from it, but it's not like ideal, but it's bearable. And then I'm tired a lot, which again, I mentioned I'm a tired girly and my whole family makes fun of me for it, but I was getting better, and this pregnancy has just made me really tired all the time. And my mom said that she was really tired throughout her whole entire pregnancy. And I don't think pregnancy symptoms are like hereditary, but I think I'm just gonna be tired the whole time, which is totally fine. I'm powering through it. I take like 1 to 2 15 to 20 minute naps every day, and it gets me through my day. So I have been managing that, but I think those are my biggest pregnancy symptoms that I still am going through. And my stomach did start to get a little bit bigger. Probably around week 12 it started popping out a tiny bit, and it's not huge, but it's nice to see the little bump. And yeah, thanks for following along on my first trimester journey. And I'm so excited to be in the second trimester. It's so nice to have made it this far so far. And if you made it through this video this far, you're amazing. And thank you for listening to me ramble on. I know I'm gonna be grateful for this video when I look back on it, hopefully if I get pregnant again in the future. But for right now, I just need to stop talking. I can't stop. Oh my gosh, my eyebrow was like this whole time. Oh, I guess that's just how my eyebrow looks. Anyway, I need to stop this video. Thank you for watching, and thanks for following along, and I hope you have a great day.